Hi, so I'm Steve. You'll have to forgive me for feeling a little sort of under the weather. I don't feel sick. I've had no symptoms at all, but this is my last day in quarantine of 10 days. I leave tomorrow morning, and it's been yeah, a bit of a testing experience. So I'm not feeling quite my best at the moment. I want to tell you a little bit about what happened, so that you might know what's in store for you, or maybe can inform you to make a decision about whether you want to come here or not right now. So I was met at the airport by my driver who was bringing me to my accommodation, and I got in a minibus taxi, and eventually we pulled over to the side of the road to be tested for COVID. And a nurse just came into the back of the van and just put one of the things just in my nostril. She didn't do the back of the throat business. It was just the nostril. And then she got back out, and we continued along until I got to my hotel. Came into my hotel, had to register at the reception. They asked me to choose a meal, and then took me off to my room, um, and said that I would get my results from the test the next day. And I was just thinking, I'm definitely going to be negative. I'd had a mask on for like almost the whole week before, taking as many precautions as I could. I'd had two PCR tests, but both of them came back negative. And from that point on, I was wearing a mask. I didn't go anywhere and socialize. Obviously, on my plane here was absolutely packed. So the first thing they did was ask me if I had any symptoms, which I didn't, and I haven't had till this point. They phoned and they said, "You're positive for COVID." And I said, "So, okay, what happens now?" And I was speaking to, I think it was like a nurse from the hospital that is in partnership with the quarantine hotel, or with the Test and Go hotel that I had booked for. She asked me if I had any symptoms, and I said no, but she said if you had symptoms, we would send you to a hospital, but if you don't have symptoms, we'll send you to one of these quarantine hotels. And I said, okay, so what, do I have to pay? She quoted me 80,000 baht, which is somewhere in the region of $4,000, a bit more than that. So yeah, obviously I was a little bit shocked, and straight away just said, well, I can't pay that. I don't have that. I actually spoke to a friend who told me to get in contact with a group on Facebook called Bangkok Community Support Foundation. So I spoke to one of the founders. He was really, really helpful. The first thing he said was, "You probably do have COVID." He explained to me that in loads and loads and loads of people that he had supported, virtually nobody who had taken a second test had come back negative the second time after arriving in Thailand. And he explained to me part of the reason is that the threshold for testing positive in the UK is so much higher than in Thailand, which is interesting in itself with regard to the sort of official numbers in the UK and stuff. So he was saying there's loads of people that are testing negative just before they leave, and then testing positive when they get to Thailand, when in reality they were probably positive according to the Thailand threshold anyway, even before they left. So it's not necessarily that you've just somehow got COVID on the way here or since landing. It's more likely that you were positive the whole time according to the Thai threshold. He explained most people's insurance was not paying out. And he said to me that there are different packages. So they'll quote you 80,000 baht at first, but if it were the case that you didn't have that money and couldn't afford it, and your insurance wasn't going to pay for you, you would probably get a different offer of a package costing far less. And he encouraged me to be reluctant to sign anything or agree anything straight away. My insurance company actually took a while to get back to me, so that kind of helped me because I was able to say, I'm waiting for my insurance company, I'm waiting for my insurance. And when they eventually did get back to me, they said, no, you're not covered. I would be covered for medical treatments, but not for just being quarantined. And as at that point I had no symptoms, it seemed like I probably wouldn't need any medical treatment at that point. So I basically just said that I couldn't afford that. Everything they're doing here, according to this, is not a scam. It is according to Thai law and the official rules. So it's not really helpful to see it in those terms that it's some sort of scam. It's not. But after a while of me sort of buying time and saying that I couldn't afford this, and they came back to me and said, okay, what about 24,500 baht, which turns out at about $750 or something like that. Eventually, I agreed to that, in which case they would quarantine me for 10 days. They wanted to move me to a different quarantine hospital, these hotels that have been turned into hospitals. But I sort of insisted, why do I need to move? I'm in one now. Why do I need to move to another one? And I was sort of informed that quite often they're moving people from one to another and someone from that to that one. Doesn't really make much sense, which I sort of pointed out, and eventually they kind of agreed and said I could stay in this one. Actually, interestingly enough, another thing I was kind of saying to kind of try and wriggle my way out of it a little bit was that I was saying I have a friend in Bangkok. I can maybe go and isolate at his place. I don't have to pay all this money. I could go and isolate with him. And eventually, they actually came back and said, yes, you can self-isolate with a friend. So they were going to let me go completely, which from other people I've heard is really, really, really rare. But I guess because I had sort of been a bit awkward, maybe in the end, they were just willing to let me go. The only problem was that I don't really have a friend that I can isolate with. Certainly not with, not with COVID. And they wanted to know the address. And I thought that, if I was to just go off at that point, that could be really stupid. Like if I was caught out, then I could end up deported or in a Thai jail or something. So I thought that wasn't worth doing. So then the next day they moved me across to a different wing of the same hotel. So now I was going to the actual COVID wing. So this is my accommodation in quarantine. It's pretty basic. This is the bathroom. They didn't give me a proper towel or any soap, so I've only got this small hand towel. And there was no soap or shower gel or anything like that. They did give me some other stuff. Wardrobe here. I haven't actually used it. I've just left my case and stuff there. Got a double bed and a single bed. It's all very old. It's a very old hotel. I'm not sure if they're all like that. I have got a window view of Bangkok. I'm actually in the kind of downtown touristy area, which doesn't really make much difference when you can't go out. Some sort of seating area here. Kind of weird. There's a door to nowhere. I was kind of excited about this when I found it. And then, I think that's another person's room with a door on the other side. And TV, I haven't even used that. I haven't used the fridge either. Obviously my computer. Yeah, and that's it. Aircon. So it's it's okay, but it's basic. It's old. It wasn't particularly clean when I came in. There was one single cola bottle, sweet candy on the floor. So it obviously hadn't been properly cleaned, but the beds were fresh. And yeah, that's about it. Kettle comes with plates and stuff for my food when that comes. Now and since then, so for 10 days now, I haven't seen anyone other than wearing the full sort of hazmat, uh, outfit. And I haven't really seen anyone at all other than, just in the corridor. They've come and taken my temperature once. And sometimes when they bring the food, if I get out there quick enough, I'll see them wheeling the trolley along. But other than that, I haven't seen anyone. So the deal with staying here is that it's 10 days. You get 3 meals a day. The food I actually think is pretty good. I love Thai food, and it's all been Thai food. Every meal has been rice with something else. There's been soups. There's been Thai curry. There's been pad Thai. And I'm not going to say it's the best Thai food because it's just not. It's more akin to a really good microwave meal, something like that. So I've been fine with it. I think the food's fine. Apart from the portions have been quite small. I've lost a fair bit of weight since I've been here. You can order in food from Grab Food or Food Panda, something like that. But the way it works is there's 2 times during the day when they will bring things to your room, because obviously they don't want to be coming in and out to all different people at all different times, right? So they have a system where they bring stuff around twice a day. So you have to order stuff to reception an hour before that time, or up until an hour before that time, and then they'll bring it. So if I ordered anything, it would be cold anyway, right? And it seemed like a load of hassle. So I haven't bothered. I just thought, well, it's enough food. Just about. I've been hungry a lot of the time, but yeah, the food was pretty good. If you didn't like Thai food, you'd be in a tough spot. But then, why are you in Thailand anyway? There's a doctor that phones me every day to ask if I have any symptoms, and I've ended up having quite a laugh with him because every day I'm just like, no symptoms. So the key bits of advice that I would get to anyone who ends up in the same or similar situation to this is: one, don't just agree to pay whatever you're quoted straight away. It's okay to say, I can't afford that. And if you do, the price will probably come down. You'll probably get offered something different. Your insurance, if you are coming here, be aware that most insurance will not cover just being quarantined. If you go to hospital and you need a lot of treatment because you're sick, that would be different. But if you're in the situation where you don't have symptoms and you just have to be quarantined in a hotel, your insurance probably won't cover that. So if you're concerned about that, either make sure with your insurance before, maybe it's worth buying a slightly more expensive one. And I would also say, definitely get in touch with the Bangkok Community Support Group, which I'll leave a link to. So thanks for watching. This is a new channel that I'm setting up with my girlfriend called Adventure or Nothing. So far it's been not much adventure and a whole lot of nothing, but hopefully we'll be making some more fun videos in the future when I finally get out tomorrow. So if you give a like and subscribe to this video, this would really help us with starting this new channel.